She says it's fine. You know it's not fine. You spend the next hour running the conversation backward, searching for the moment it went wrong. You are not bad at listening. You are listening to the wrong thing. Because what she actually means is almost never in the words themselves. Here's the strange part. Your brain already knows this. It just doesn't tell you. For most of human history, words were the least important part of communication. Long before language had grammar, your ancestors were reading faces, postures, and tone across a fire pit, in a cave, on a hunting trail, where a misread signal could get someone killed. A tightened jaw meant danger. A softened shoulder meant safety. Speech came late in the evolutionary story. Reading a person came first, and that older system never left. It just got buried under the newer one. The one built out of sentences and vocabulary, the one you now trust far more than you should. The linguist, Deborah Tannen, spent decades recording real conversations between men and women, and she found something that surprised almost everyone who read her work. Men and women aren't bad communicators. They're often using two different communication systems that evolved for two different social purposes. One system, more common in men's speech patterns, is built around status and independence. Say what you mean, solve the problem, move on, don't dwell. The other system, more common in women's speech patterns, is built around connection and rapport. Say what preserves the relationship, read between the lines, stay close. Keep the bond intact, even when the words stay vague. Neither system is wrong. Neither one is a malfunction. But when they collide inside the same conversation, one side hears silence as agreement, and the other side hears silence as a wall going up. So when she says it's fine, she's rarely lying to you. She's often speaking in a dialect you were never formally taught. Tannen's research showed that indirectness isn't evasion. It's a form of social intelligence, refined over generations. It protects the relationship from direct conflict, while still signaling that something needs attention. The message isn't hidden because she wants you to fail at finding it. It's hidden because directness, inside that particular system, can feel less like honesty and more like an attack. Think about that for a second. What looks like a mixed signal to you might be the most careful, considerate thing she could have said in that moment. It might be the version of the truth that keeps the room calm. Now here's where it gets stranger. The anthropologist, Robin Dunbar, studied something almost nobody thinks of as communication at all. Gossip. Ordinary, everyday talk about other people. Dunbar's research on primate grooming behavior found that when human groups grew too large for physical touch, the picking through fur, the mutual grooming that bonds monkeys and apes, to hold everyone together, language quietly took over that exact job. Talking about other people, about relationships, about who did what to whom, became the new social glue holding tribes together. And in Dunbar's data, this kind of relational talk made up the overwhelming majority of everyday human conversation, in men and women both, though it showed up in very different forms depending on context. For a lot of people, this means conversation itself can be the point. Not the information sitting inside it, the connection happening while it's exchanged. When she tells you about her day in long, looping detail, she isn't handing you a status report to file away. She's inviting you into the room with her, minute by minute. If your instinct is to jump straight to solving the problem she mentioned in sentence 3, you may have skipped past the actual request entirely. You solved a puzzle. She wanted company. This is where the psychologist John Gottman's decades of relationship research become useful. Maybe the most useful piece of this whole puzzle. Gottman filmed thousands of hours of couples talking in his lab, tracking their expressions frame by frame, and found he could predict, with striking accuracy, which relationships would last and which wouldn't. The deciding factor wasn't how often couples disagreed. Disagreement, it turns out, is almost irrelevant. What mattered was how they responded to something Gottman called bids for connection. Small, almost invisible moments. A sigh, a comment about the weather, a story about a coworker nobody asked about. Each one is a quiet request, dressed up as small talk. Notice me right now. Couples who turned toward these bids, even in tiny, unremarkable ways, built up a reserve of trust that outlasted almost any argument. Couples who turned away, even without meaning to, even while being perfectly polite, slowly ran out of goodwill without ever having a single fight about it. So, what does she really mean? Often, underneath the specific words, there's a bid sitting quietly.